So now that I've talked about my first impressions of the Kona AI system, I wanted to talk a bit more about the configurations or the functionality that can be added and removed from the system through using alternative software. So Kona AI has their default, their OEM software, which gives you the steering functionality and stuff like that. But there are what they call community forks, and this is where someone has taken their default system and modified it to add functionality, sometimes remove functionality, but otherwise tweak either to specific vehicles or functionality in general. So for instance, there is a Hyundai fork, and its job is to give you functionality specific to Hyundai, Kia, and I think Genesis vehicles, because you can actually access the system remotely and add functionality such as opening and closing windows, unlocking, locking, checking state of the vehicle, etc. And different forks again offer different features. So right now I'm running a fork by a person called John PL, I believe. It's an unofficial fork, not listed on their official forks, because Kona themselves are quite strict as to what forks they will accept. They have to meet certain requirements, and anything that doesn't, they do not allow to be listed as an official, unofficial fork. So John PL is a combination of several official, unofficial forks. And it gives a bunch of functionality that some of the other ones also do, such as lane changing by using the indicators, certain on-display functionality. You can customize your logo. There's mad mode, which says will engage and turn on the system with your cruise control button rather than having to set other settings. A bunch of other bells and whistles. Each fork will have its own information, and so the trick is to pick one that you like, and ultimately you're just going to have to go through them. The only downside to picking custom forks is that they're not pre-compiled, and the reason that's a downside is because the phones that they're using are anemic, and so it can take an actual hour and a half to compile someone's fork. Which is a long time to wait just to test something on a whim. The other thing is, these systems apparently calibrate over time, and so once you switch to another fork, you've then got to drive the vehicle for a while to actually see if it makes any improvements or changes, whether to functionality or whatever. But apparently they all tend to use the same base steering functionality, so you won't see a huge difference in driving performance, in theory. However, the ones catered to specific vehicles may be better, and you get other functionality that may be useful, like some may turn on traffic light detection, some don't, some have the ability to control the speed of the vehicle, some don't, etc. So it's up to you in that respect. Have an experiment and see. I will probably do just that and report back, but right now I'm sticking with John PL, just to get a feel for it, because he's very active on Discord, and it's nice to use someone's software when they're very active so that you can figure out problems, stuff like that. I initially tried XX976XX, one of the unofficial forks, and it just didn't work. It just said waiting for configuration or something like that. I can't remember exactly. So sometimes they won't even work with your vehicle. So it's all a bit of a hit and miss experimentation. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I will keep you in the loop.